ॐ गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। ॐ श्रीकृष्ण परमात्मने नमः। अष्टादशोऽध्यायः मोक्षसंन्यासयोगः। श्रीभगवानुवाच शरीरवाङ्मनोभिर्यत् कर्म प्रारभते नरः न्यायं वा विपरीतं वा पञ्चैते तस्य हेतवः तत्रैवं सति कर्तारम् आत्मानं केवलं तु यः पश्यत्यकृतबुद्धिः पश्यत्यकृतबुद्धित्वान् न स पश्यति दुर्मतिः यस्य नाहङ्कृतो भावो बुद्धिर्यस्य न लिप्यते हत्वापि सा इमान् लोकान् न हन्ति न निबध्यते ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं परिज्ञाता त्रिविधा कर्म चोदना करणं कर्म कर्तेति त्रिविधः कर्म संग्रहः ज्ञानं कर्म च कर्ता च त्रिधैव गुणभेदतः प्रोच्यते गुणसङ्ख्याने यथावत् शृणुतान्यपि सर्वभूतेषु येनैकं भावमव्ययमीक्षते अविभक्तं विभक्तेषु तज्ज्ञानं विद्धि सात्विकम् पृथक्त्वेन तु यज्ञानं नानाभावान् पृथग्विधान् वेत्ति सर्वेषु भूतेषु तज्ज्ञानं विद्धि राजसम् यत्तु कृत्स्नवदेकस्मिन् कार्ये सक्तमहैतुकम् अतत्त्वार्थवदल्पं च तत्तामसमुदाहृतम् नियतं सङ्गरहितं मरागद्वेषतः कृतम् अफलप्रेप्सुना कर्म यत्तत् सात्विकमुच्यते यत्तु कामेप्सुना कर्म साहङ्कारेण वा पुनः क्रियते बहुलायासं तद्राजसमुदाहृतम् अनुबन्धं क्षयं हिंसाम् अनपेक्ष्य च पौरुषम् मोहादारभ्यते कर्म यत्तत्तामसमुच्यते मुक्तसङ्गो नहं वादी धृत्युत्साहसमन्वितः सिद्ध्यसिद्ध्यो निर्विकारः कर्ता सात्विक उच्यते रागी कर्मफलप्रेप्सुः लुब्धो हिंसात्मको शुचिः हर्षशोकान्वितः कर्ता राजसः परिकीर्तितः अयुक्तः प्राकृतस्तब्धः शठो नैष्कृतिकोऽलसः विषादी दीर्घसूत्री च कर्ता तामस उच्यते बुद्धेर्भेदं धृतैश्चैव गुणतत्त्रिविधं शृणु प्रोच्यमानमशेषेण पृथक्त्वेन धनञ्जय प्रवृत्तिं च निवृत्तिं च कार्याकार्ये भयाभये बन्धं मोक्षं च या वेत्ति बुद्धिः सा पार्थ सात्विकी यया धर्ममधर्मं च कार्यं चाकार्यमेव च अयथावत् प्रजानाति बुद्धि सा पार्थ राजसी अधर्मं धर्ममिति या मन्यते तमसावृता सर्वार्थान् विपरीतांश्च बुद्धि सा पार्थ तामसी धृत्या यया धारयते मनः प्राणेन्द्रियक्रियाः योगेनाव्यभिचारिण्या धृति सा पार्थ सात्विकी यया तु धर्मकर्मार्थान् धृत्या धारयतेऽर्जुन प्रसङ्गेन फलाकाङ्क्षी धृति सा पार्थ राजसी यया स्वप्नं भयं शोकं विषादं मदमेव च न विमुञ्चति दुर्मेधा धृति सा पार्थ तामसी ॐ तत्सत् सर्वं श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु we were doing, I think, Satvik Karta we completed and Rajas Karta. Am I right? Kindly guide me. Rajas Karta we were doing, right? We already did, but we will repeat Rajas Karta. Am I correct?
Yeah, I think yesterday Dr. Brahmara said to review those two, I think.
Yeah.
Rajasic Karta and Tamasic Karta.
Yes, dear.
Okay, thanks.
Would you like to read, Dr. Brahmara?
No, go ahead, Balaji. No, I need to kind of I can read for a little bit and then I get this choking cough. That's why I didn't want to.
Yeah, no problem. Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll just read the last paragraph of Sattva and then we will go to Rajaskarta. So here we see the disposition of a person who has a mind which is containable, which is manageable in success and failure. It is all Karma Yoga which is addressed here. Further, Shankara adds that this is a person who is engaged only in activities which are in keeping with the Shastra, in keeping with Dharma, not those that are for the sake of getting this or that. Such a person is called Sattvika. In other words, he is a Karma Yogi. We are not talking about the Jnani here, only the Karta. The attitude of a Jnani is not going to be very different from this, but for him it is spontaneous. Ragi karma phala prepsuhu lubdho hinsatmako shuchihi harsha shokanvita karta rajasah parikirtitah. The one who has a predominance of raga and a predominant desire for the result of action, who is greedy, whose nature is to hurt, who is not clean, and who is subject to elation and depression, is called a Rajasa doer. Rajasa Karta. This describes the doer who is Rajasa and he is called a Karma Phala Pepsu. Why is he called Rajasakarta? Because he is a Ragi, the one who has a predominance of Raga. Because of Raga and Dvesha alone, he performs all secular actions, Laukika Karma, and if he performs any Vedic Karma, it is purely for the result of that Karma. Because he has pronounced desire for the results of actions, he is called a karma phala prepsu. He wants only dharma, artha, or kama, and therefore is not a karma yogi, but a karma phala prepsu. Then again, he is lubdha, greedy or miserly. Shankara says that he is the one who has a desire for somebody else's wealth. This is what we call greed. Coveting another person's riches or property makes him a lubdha. Not only that, he does not give in situations where it is appropriate to give, but also actively covets another person's riches. Generally, people distribute money when they go to places of pilgrimage in India. Even that this fellow will not do. He is a miser lubdha. He covets the wealth of others and is incapable of spending money on himself or on others. Not only does he not give, he also tries to stop others from giving. It's all because of confused values. His heart is lost somewhere in some figures, in some particular column of a financial journal, or in some property somewhere in Tanzania. His heart is invested all over except here. This person is called a miser. He has to undergo a lot of change in his thinking. So, because he is a lubdha, his mind is everywhere and completely result oriented. So, even if when he is doing Laukik karma or Vedic karma, his mind is engaged in the result. And that is why his mind is everywhere except within. Then again, he is one whose nature is to hurt another person, himsatmaka, and in that he finds some joy also. Because he is unhappy, he makes others unhappy, either deliberately or unmindful of the damage he is doing to others. And he is an ashuchi, not clean either inside or outside. There are people who do not bathe for days and then try to cover the odor with perfume. This person is externally and internally ashuchi. This internal uncleanliness expresses as anger, hatred, and so on. When one has a tendency to hurt others and powerful likes, naturally, he is not going to have internal purity. But at least he can clean outside. He can be clean outside. Even that is not there. Shankara says he is devoid of cleanliness inside and outside. So, about the Shaucha, his Antakarana is also not clean. That is why from within as well as from externally also, he is ashuchi or unclean. And it is seen through his expressions of anger and hatred. And because of the krodha, we know krodhat bhavati sammoha, sammohat smriti vibhrama, smriti bhramshad buddhi nasha. So he doesn't know what is right and what is wrong. So his acts are either deliberately damaging to others or he is unmindful of the damage he is creating to others. Because his all actions are purely based on his raga. He is a ragi as well as dvesha. Further, he is just the opposite of the person who has a certain contained emotion in success and failure. The person under discussion here is Harsha Shoka Anvitaha, one who is subject to elation and depression when things go well or badly for him. He is called a Rajasa Karta. So he is just the opposite of the Sattvika Karta, who is balanced even in success and failure. In comparison to him, here the Rajasa Karta, he is Harsha Shoka Anvita. So he is just the opposite of the Sattvika person. So that is all about Rajasic Karta. Kindly share your understanding before we go to the third type of Karta, Tamasic Karta. Should we read further about the tamasic and then want to discuss?
Jai Gurudev, I just want to share this Phala Prepsuna is such an important uh, aspect of this Rajasika Karta. Kamepsuna and Phala Prepsuna. So I'm supposed to give a presentation on Monday, and I'm thinking, it is for the whole hospital, and part of me was thinking, oh, what if it should come out well? Okay, that is the intention, that is the desire. But then I was thinking, if I'm so consumed by the outcome of that, I will not be able to focus on preparing the slides. So this shloka actually was so apt because it gave me back a perspective. What am I concerned about, the result or the actual presentation? So if I'm a Satvika Karta, I will just focus on the presentation and I would not really worry about the outcome, how everybody takes it. Because otherwise I'll be sitting and I should actually confess that I was sitting in the seat of judgment and saying, how will it be rated? How will it be taken by my management staff, things like that. So if I'm so focused on that, then I will completely be a Rajasika Karta. And then I will be upset. I would be either very happy if it's taken very well, or I'll feel bad in case there are some not so good comments coming up. Whereas if I focus on, yes, I have to do this, and I'll put my best foot forward and focus on just the work to be done, then I would be freed from this anxiety and the worry about what will happen, rather than get on to the fold of the raga dvesha, where I would like good comments and I don't like not so good comments. So that will be the raga dvesha coming up there. Rather than that, no, this is a task given to me. Let me just do it and do it to the best of my ability. Then no matter what, how the outcome is, whether it's good, not good, I would not be so affected by it.
Jai Gurudev, and in one way, it is staying in present moment, isn't it?
It is staying in the present moment. Very right. Same thing, we can translate this into any of our actions, whether it is cooking, whether it is, anything for that matter. The intention is there that it has to come out well. But if we are so focused, the Rajasika Karta is occupied, his mind space is occupied by the result, and not so much on the action, number one. Second, he is driven by his raga dveshas. He would do things that he likes to do. He will not do things that he is averse doing, even if it is required of him to do. That is the difference between a Satvika Karta, Ajnani, for instance. Ajnani is spontaneous. Similarly, even a Satvika Karta is someone who does things because they are supposed to be done. They have to be done. Whether it is Niyatam Karma, whether it is Vaidika Karma or Laukika Karma. If you go back few shlokas ago, the Satvika Karta does it because it is to be done, whereas the Rajasika Karta, he thinks, oh, it is going to affect my body, I will, it is, my sleep will be affected, so he therefore drops doing those. Whereas the Tamasika Karta is completely out of delusion. He he's he doesn't even think about doing them. We're talking about Niyatam Karma and the things that have to be done. So it is again, it boils down to our mental attitude.
On this background, how do we uh, think, like these days people, like parents for youngs, they won't force something which are basics on them, and they let them choose or let them do what they want, though they may not know what really is right and wrong. But parents these days, they have this, mm, now this is a new theory, like let children choose their own things. If he doesn't like this, let them not do it. Saying no is bad thing. All of that, how do we see from on this background?
I mean, that's a different
Mhm.
ball game altogether. No, parenting, we cannot leave everything to a child. We will have to guide them, and of course, we would not force anything upon them either. So it is all about um, guiding them and giving them an opportunity to make an educated choice. Parenting does not mean letting loose. It is like you have to, it's not too loose, not too tight, just right. That little bit of um, holding the reins has to be there. Otherwise, they will just fly away like a kite without a string. So that little string has to be there. That parental guidance needs to be there.
Jai Gurudev, in Know Your Child, Gurudev has
But
said,
how long?
yeah, can I share something?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, in Know Your Child, Gurudev has said that children are individuals, come with their own tendencies. So you prioritize what is important, like their choice of friends is important, the company that they move around is important, career is important. So in that areas, you have to get involved. You have to be their friend and help them see the pros and cons of their choices. And by now, you would have known their tendencies by observing them from childhood. So you can guide them and you should guide them. That's what Gurudev said. In important things, you should guide them. And in small little things, let them make their choice so they feel that they are heard and their voice is respected. So he said in matters of what they want to wear or what color they want to put on their hair and all, you let them decide. You don't get involved in that. But in matters like career and education and the company they keep and how they spend their time, all that, you must have a watch. And therefore, you be friends with their friends first. Because children are influenced by friends more than by their parents. So he said, you bring them home, let them have their get together and all in your house. So then you're not involved, but yet you're not away. So that is what he had said in Know Your Child and Know Your Teen programs. Thank you.
Thank you.
Even there, this whole thing is about us. It is about you, me, right? So even as a parent, you will do your bit, and then you would not really force it upon them, and just let it be. Let them, especially after they've come of an age of, they said, 16, 17 years, you befriend them and then let them um, also feel accountable for their life. How long will you keep giving them that? You have to give them that umbrella, yes, but not so tight that you want whatever is in your mind only to manifest in their lives. So parenting is not just challenging, but it is about just being up until 15, 16 years. Yes, you will have to be handhold them, but after that I think it is about them gravitating to what their own aims and aspirations are. In the Indian context, a child is a child forever for a parent. Even if the child gets married and gets children, there is still that mothering, fathering tendency, which is not there in the West. I'm not saying that is what we need to adopt, but being available for them when they require and giving them guidance. And more than everything, as a parent, we being a role model, I think that will be more inspirational for a child to look up to.
Actually, when we are the role model, they themselves come and discuss the issues with us, and it was like a means lighter atmosphere at home. Otherwise, if we start instructing only them to do this, like, then the family atmosphere gets very tough.
Yeah, Guruji also said, don't go on teaching them, instructing them to do this, that, everything. He shared about his own family, his own father, when he would come home from work, he would just drop his bags and everything. And before dinner, this was like almost like a ritual in their house. He would make everybody laugh, whether it was just running around or tickling them. Everybody would laugh for at least 5-10 minutes before having dinner. And then they would all sit together at the dinner table and then have dinner together. So making the atmosphere light at home rather than keeping it full of demands, expectations, instructions should be the way forward. I think we'll get back to our text. So again, all of this that Bhagwan is talking about is about us. It is about me. It is about the I. So when we transform within, then, because the Bhagavad Gita is all about the individual. And here I remember what Rajima, in her questions on Bhagavad Gita, especially on chapter 2, I'm not sure whether we all had an opportunity to go through those videos. If not, we will do that one of these days after we finish chapter 18. She's very specific. When people ask questions, I mean, I'm not saying it's only for us to be a little aware of this. She would encourage questions that are pertaining to that person, individual's life, not hypothetical questions. Says, no, what is happening in your life? What is it that you want right now? What is your burning question? Is it pertaining to your life? Then ask. She would denounce any of those questions which are hypothetical. There will be a lot of hypothetical questions that crop up in our mind. So is it pertaining to our life or no? So I just was reminded of how she would she conducted those Gita sessions, and it was amazing. I mean, her depth of knowledge and the way she presented it was beautiful. I think we'll go through them once. So I think we'll get back on track. So going forward, maybe if we can just keep that in mind, I think that will be great. I'm not saying any of these questions that were asked right now, we're discussing, is out of context. No, I'm not mentioning that. It just came to my mind and therefore I'm sharing it. Okay.
Yeah, because these days the trend is like let people do what they like, and that I thought that's a Rajasic karma, right? That's why this came up. The society, they're choosing the career, or just whatever you like, you do it. This is kind of encouragement even the parents are doing these days, and that has been that's what is the trend now. I thought maybe that a Rajasic mm, karma.
See, if you actually go to the earlier ages, there was a family tradition. A potter son will become a potter. A carpenter's son will become a carpenter, so on and so forth. But now the current age is different. So I think with respect to the choices of wanting to do, just because the like is coming in there, maybe it's not just purely Rajasic. It's also, like Sumaji mentioned, it's driven by their own inner urges. Career choices, I don't know whether you can label them Rajasic there.
I think it is their swabhava. You see, we should understand their swabhava. Where they are leaning, it will come to know while childhood only. How he is. See, every child will not be interested in mathematics. Some will be more interested in mathematics. So parents should keep an eye on it and develop that. That is natural, you see. When you start developing the natural swabhava of the child, he will grow very efficiently. You have to just feed whatever he is needed. So their likes and dislikes automatically taken care of, you know. So you should encourage the natural tendency of the child. Some are very good in drawing. See, my daughter was very good in drawing, and this one I put her in animation. I am an engineer, but I cannot force her to do engineering. See, like that, you will know exactly in the childhood only what they are tending towards, and help them in picking that. You need not force it, but you will know it. So that's the way it used to be. And they will be successful. I felt that. And they will know themselves, oh, I'm liking this, as so I have. And we have to put all the possible things, whatever available for that tendencies, in the world. And they will come up. They will pick it up. That is the way I felt. Means your swabhava jena karma. So it automatically he will become efficient in that. I feel that way. Jai Gurudev.
Yeah, very wonderful discussion. So we move on to the third type of karta, Satvika, Rajasika, and now Tamasika. Then the third type of karta is being described. Ayuktah prakrutastambdhah shatho naishkrutikolasah Vishadi dirghasutri cha karta tamasa uchyate. Ayuktah, the one who is disturbed. Prakritah, immature. Stabdhah, irreverent. Shatah, deceptive. Naishkrutikah, cruel. Alasah, lazy. Vishadi, given to sadness, dirgha sutri cha, and a procrastinator. Tamasah karta uchyate is called a tamasa karta. Ayuktah, prakritah, stabdhah, shatah, naishkrutikah, alasah, vishadi, dirghasutri cha, tamasah karta uchyate. The one who is disturbed, immature, irreverent, deceptive, cruel, lazy, given to sadness, and a procrastinator is called a tamasa karta, doer. The one, I repeat, the one who is disturbed, immature, irreverent, deceptive, cruel, lazy, given to sadness, and a procrastinator is called a tamasa doer. So we will remember these words: ayuktah, prakritah, stabdhah, shatah, naishkrutikah, alasah, vishadi, and dirghasutri. Tamasakarta. The word yukta refers to one who is not together, a person who is disturbed. He cannot apply his mind properly, and therefore his thinking and behavior are improper. And he has a mind that is prakrita, immature. Even though he may be in his 40s, his mind remains like that of a child because he has not undergone adequate educational discipline, the discipline of proper thinking, etc. When this is the situation, it would be natural for him to be very humble, but he is not. He is stabdha, irreverent. Shankara says, remaining like a stick, unbending, he does not prostrate to anybody. Dandavata. Dandavata na namati kashmachit. Kashmaichit. There is no question of any kind of surrender to anything because he is absolutely irreverent. Then further, he is a shatha, very deceptive. He can be so deceptive that he can present himself as though he is not deceptive. In other words, he is an impostor and he is naishkrita. Naishkrita. Kritika. Naishkritika. Which Shankara says is someone who is intent upon destroying somebody. He is cruel. Morose is another meaning for Naishkrita. But cruel is more appropriate here. Moreover, he is alasa, completely lazy. He is not capable of doing the things that are to be done. Tamasakarta, the word yukta refers to one who is not together, a person disturbed. He cannot apply his mind properly, and therefore his thinking and behavior are improper. And he has a mind that is prakrita, immature. Even though he may be in his 40s, his mind remains like that of a child because he has not undergone adequate educational discipline, the discipline of proper thinking, etc. When this is the situation, it would be natural for him to be very humble, but he is not. He is stabdha, irreverent. Shankara says, remaining like a stick, unbending. He does not prostrate to anybody. Dandavata na namati kashmai chit. There is no question of any kind of surrender to anything because he is absolutely irreverent. Then further, he is a shatha, very deceptive. He can be so deceptive that he can present himself as though he is not deceptive. In other words, he is an impostor and he is Naishkrita, which Shankara says is someone who is intent upon destroying somebody. He is cruel. Morose is another meaning for Naishkrita, Naishkritika. But cruel is more appropriate here. Moreover, he is alasa, completely lazy. He is not capable of doing the things that are to be done. And he is Vishadi, one who is always given to sadness. Sadness is not a bad thing as long as one is addressing it. In that case, the person is Satvika. But if you don't address the problem, tamas is predominant. Here we have a person who is more or less always depressed, but does not do anything about it. Even if someone tells him what to do about it, he will postpone doing that because he is a Dirgha Sutri, a procrastinator. The things that are to be done, he do, but postpone day after day, indefinitely. Shankara says that what is to be done today or tomorrow, he does not do even in a month. This is all because he has a disposition which is dull and he is called Tamaskarta. Tamaskarta. We talked about the three kinds of karma, action, and karta, agent, and also the three kinds of jnana, knowledge. Bhagavan is now going to discuss that very faculty, the buddhi, where the knowledge exists in a threefold way. Earlier, he had mentioned dhriti, resolve, as a quality of sattvika karta. There we had noted that dhriti need not be sattviki. It can be as well be rajasi or tamasi. What he has resolved, what exactly he is committed to, determines whether it is sattviki, rajasi or tamasi. In these verses, we are just getting into the mind and seeing its various conclusions, its knowledge and its thinking processes in terms of motives, etc. If you go into all the different possibilities in terms of sattva, rajas and tamas that have been laid out in chapter 16 and chapter 17 and here in chapter 18, you will find that it is a beautiful analysis of various attitudes and their outcomes, such as what is a good process of thinking, what is wrong thinking, and what is no thinking, etc. So here Swamiji has beautifully described.
Could you read the Tamasakarta one more time, please?
Yeah.
If you don't mind, thanks.
Yeah, sure. I will read the Tatpari also, the shloka. The one who is disturbed, immature, irreverent, deceptive, cruel, lazy, given to sadness, and a procrastinator is called a tamasa doer. tamasa karta. The word yukta refers to one who is not together. I think somebody is unmuted. Kindly mute yourself. I read once again. The word yukta refers to one who is not together, a person who is disturbed. He cannot apply his mind properly, and therefore,
Is yukta or ayukta?
In shlok it is ayukta, but here it is given yukta. I think
that
it is
is
ayukta, the printing mistake.
Be ayukta. It must be, because it cannot be yukta. Yukta is someone who's yoked.
Yeah, who is together.
Yeah, ayukta must be.
Yeah, in shloka it is ayukta. Yeah, the word ayukta refers to one who is not together, a person who is disturbed. He cannot apply his mind properly, and therefore his thinking and behavior are improper. Just give me a second. And he has a mind that is prakrita, immature. Even though he may be in his 40s, his mind remains like that of a child because he has not undergone adequate educational discipline, the discipline of proper thinking, etc. When this is the situation, it would be natural for him to be very humble, but he is not. He is stabdha, irreverent. Shankara says, remaining like a stick, unbending, he does not prostrate to anybody. Dandavata na namati kasmai chit. There is no question of any kind of surrender to anything because he is absolutely irreverent. Then further, he is a shatha, very deceptive. He can be so deceptive that he can present himself as though he is not deceptive. In other words, he is an impostor and he is Naishkritika. 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 Naishkritika, which Shankara says is someone who is intent upon destroying somebody. He is cruel. Morose is another meaning for Naishkritika. But cruel is more appropriate here. Moral. He is alasa, completely lazy. He is not capable of doing the things that are to be done. And he is Vishadi, one who is always given to sadness. Sadness is not a bad thing as long as one is addressing. In that case, the person is Satvika. But if you don't address the problem, tamas is predominant. Here we have a person who is more or less always depressed, but does not do anything about it. Even if someone tells him what to do about it, he will postpone doing that because he is a Dirgha Sutri, a procrastinator. The things that are to be done, he does not do, but postpones day after day, indefinitely. Shankara says that what is to be done today or tomorrow, he does not do even in a month. This is all because he has a disposition which is dull and he is called a tamasa karta. Having talked about the three kinds of karma, action, and karta, agent, and also the three kinds of jnana, knowledge, Bhagwan is now going to discuss that very faculty, the buddhi, where the knowledge exists in a threefold way. Earlier, he had mentioned Dhriti, resolve, as a quality of a Sattvika Karta. There we had noted that Dhriti need not be Sattviki. It can as well be Rajasi or Tamasi. What he has resolved, what exactly he is committed to, determines whether it is Sattviki, Rajasi, or Tamasi. In these verses, we are just getting into the mind and seeing its various conclusions, its knowledge, and its thinking processes in terms of motives, etc. If you go into all the different possibilities in terms of sattva, rajas, and tamas that have been laid out in chapter 16 and chapter 17 and here in chapter 18, you find that it is a beautiful analysis of various attitudes and their outcomes, such as what is a good process of thinking, what is wrong thinking, what is no thinking.
This is so important because the right kind of thinking is what directs us into right action. So if we are able to refine our thinking, and like what Gurudev's often quoted, the quote is, clarity in the mind, purity in the heart, and sincerity in action. So for that clarity in mind, this proper thinking is so important. So the next few shlokas are pertaining to those aspect of thinking.
Hariom, the line sadness is not a bad thing as long as one is addressing it. So it means that going to the root cause of that sadness and mending it, like
Yes, processing it.
Yeah.
See, if you remember, there was one, I think in Atma Bodha, Bhajagovindam introduction. Normally, when we are in a sad situation, we tend to divert the mind into something else and we leave it there. And that remains and it comes up time and again. Rather than that, go to the root cause, understand why that sadness is there. Then you're uprooting it, you're processing it. So another situation like that happens, you know exactly, you know how to deal with your mind. Otherwise, what normally people do, if they're sad, they find another diversion to temporarily take the mind out of that sadness, which is not the right way, isn't it? For instance, you're sad, you start singing. Now, singing, yes, it'll take you out of that sadness for that moment. But have you actually dealt with why you're feeling sad? That vichara is required. When you do it with vichara, that processing happens, then you have actually taken care of that sadness.
Jai Gurudev, here one thing I want to mention, that when you are in the whirlpool of negative emotions, to uplift yourself from that state of mind going round and round, the moment that awareness comes, if you can shift it to, like just now you gave the example of singing or bhajan or dancing, it elevates your prana, and then when you do the processing it will help. Otherwise you will go round and round with that emotional negativities. That's what is my experience. Maybe you can elaborate on it, because something is needed to uplift yourself. No, see, all these emotional garbage is mostly when the prana level goes down, or mostly when your happiness you are clutching it with the outside world. And then to really shift your attention, the moment the prana level goes up, then you will be able to process it properly. That's what I wanted to mention. Maybe you can
But
elaborate
that
on
is
this.
where knowledge comes in, no? See, because we have
Right.
this knowledge comes in as a tool for us to process it.
Correct.
Maybe one route is what you're saying. Maybe that's okay. I'm not sure about that. But then when there may be a possibility of you not coming back to process your sadness. But with knowledge, you'll know, oh, this is happening in my mind. This is because my ego is hurt. So you detach, you get that gap between yourself and the emotion that you're going through. And like we learn in the advanced course, you just become aware of that and that will flip over. So again, I think
Correct.
awareness is the key. Awareness, knowledge is the key over there. And the
Yeah,
moment
but
you realize
sometimes
that,
no.
you're out of the sadness.
Yeah, but sometimes the knowledge be in the present moment, be don't accept people, don't go. That is going on in the mind, no doubt about it. But the pull of the whirlpool of the emotions is so high because the prana level is pulled down. That's why it becomes, even if in the background you are aware also, and you are trying to put the knowledge also, but the whirlpool is so strong that time shifting to dancing or to singing, just then the elevation of prana happens, and then that awareness will really, you will be able to process it
Yeah,
properly so that it
Hari Om.
won't
Madhuri
create
ji,
the impression.
I think what you say as a point here, I can give you uh, two examples. One is Tyagaraja. We all know Tyagaraja Kirtanas. Every Kirtana he has sung is out of a, an emotion. Once a king called him and asked him to give the Ramayana that no, this is the Kirtanas, what he was writing, what he was singing. A king asked him and said, sing about me. He said, no, I am only singing everything for the Lord. So I cannot. Most of the Tyagaraja Kirtanas are only on Rama. Rama is my Daivam. I can sing only on him, not on you. And he gets insulted by the king and comes back. Then spontaneously he comes back, sits in front of Rama Lakshman Sita Murtis at home, and then he starts singing. Like I don't know how many of you know Telugu. Like Duduku Gala Nannu Edora Koduku Brochura. One of the excellent compositions. Means my kind of arrogant attitude, what I have, which king will really appreciate me? He comes and sings in front of Rama, saying, which king will appreciate me with the kind of arrogance? He calls himself arrogant because he refused the king. But at the same time, he did not agree to what king said. In the same way, sage Ramadasa, who was imprisoned in Golconda Fort in Hyderabad, because he built a Bhadrachalam temple, which is now world famous in Warangal. Then also he is imprisoned by that fellow Tanasha or Tanisha, the Sultan or the Muslim ruler in Hyderabad. There also, out of his despair, he composed this Ramadas Kirtanas. In that, he shouts at Rama, saying, like, Sitammaku cheisti chintaku patakamo. That he describes all the jewelry that he got done for Mata Sita and for Lakshmana and all that. Then he screams at Rama, Evadabba sommani kulukuchu. Tirige means, I also get emotional. Kiska baap ka समझ के तू आराम से पूरा ऐश कर रहा था रामा बोल के. Evade abba means baap in a slang. किसकी बाप का माल है सोचा रामा, मैं इतना खर्च किया तेरे लिए, and you were sitting. And the meaning there was because he was beaten black and blue by the soldiers of the ruler. Then he shouts, मैं इतना किया तेरे लिए, and this is what you are doing to me, putting me in the prison. And after that, again, he feels sad that he shouted at Rama. Then again, he composes in the same thing, he adds a stanza. Abba debbala korvaka tittitinaya, means I was unable to bear the pain of these beatings, so I shouted at you. Please don't mind. All this.
Mhm.
And the result of this purity, just now Brahmara was saying, clarity of thought, purity of mind, sincerity of action. All these three, sage Tyagaraja had, Bhakta Ramadasu had, and as a result, what happened to sage Tyagaraja was Rama tells him, you are going to come and get Aikyam into me. You are going to become a part of me. So that's
Mhm.
what happens to him. And here Bhakta Ramadas, Rama and Lakshmana, they come at midnight to Golconda Fort, to Tanasha, and clear all the amount that Ramadasa spent to build Bhadrachalam temple. He collects taxes and builds a temple, saying these are the taxes collected from the people and the temple is for the people, which the ruler did not like. They come and give him bags of gold and says, now everything is cleared, remove Ramdas from the prison, and they go away. And they introduce themselves as the Sevaks of Ramdas. This is the power of the devotion. Okay, I went, I think, a little too far, but the thought what Madhuri ji has, yes, I agree that the singing or dancing with the mind of dedication to the divine brings us out of various low moments. Definitely, I agree with that.
I too agree with that. It's totally correct. And
Yeah, otherwise, no.
the-
Yeah, otherwise, no. The back of the mind, that thing is going on. All the knowledge points and Gurudev is there in the mind. Jai Gurudev is going on in the back of the mind, and still the whirlpool of the negativity, whatever has happened at that moment, the
One more
emotional.
thing, we had one person who was a music teacher here in Bahrain, who was teaching our children also. She once mentioned, saying that she is a postgraduate, highly qualified, and she came to Bahrain following her husband. And here, she did not get a job. Then she finally, after trying for a few times, and she finally reconciled, saying, "Okay, I'll just take care of my husband and children. Here, I'm not getting a job." And beach mein na, in the middle, after once in like few days, like a cycle, it comes saying, "Oh, I'm so highly educated. I don't have anything, that, this." And but she was MA in music, and she used to just sing in front, sit in front of the puja mandir at home, and just sing out a few kirtanas as a dedication to God, to cool up herself, to just calm down her own mind. And in one of the conversations when we were having, she was saying that really kept me going all these years in Bahrain. Otherwise, I would have gone dead and mad, and this that. It was very nice. And later on, it so happened that many people were interested in teaching music to their children, and I had this qualification and talent, and so God gave me this kind of a thing. And she was quite busy teaching kids the Carnatic music. So that is how. So this long ago, the Ramadas and sage Tyagaraja, I'm talking this about 15, 20 years back here in Bahrain. The experience of one of our family friends. Haryo.
Jai Gurudev, I want to add a little bit on this. This is for people who are exposed to some level of spirituality. But what our movies show, especially all this movie, Bollywood movie and all that, if there is a heartbreak, what do they show? They take them to some whatever pub and drink and dance and all that. That is the
These are
way they
all
live a life.
communicators, Amma. The movies,
Yeah, no,
the
yes. What
the
I'm saying
negativity.
is,
No, the woke. This is called WOKE, woke, and the leftist and communist. These are the people. I'm not trying to bring politics, but these are the people who have taken the takedari of destroying the Indian Dharmic society. This has all happened with a plan in place. It is not Bollywood trying to earn money. They are trying to plant these kind of seeds. They could have shown the figure. Old movies, if you see, 50 saal pehle, 50
yes,
years back
correct.
movies, if you
Agreed,
see,
agreed.
if the hero or heroine or hero's mother, whoever, if the hero is in trouble, the heroine, what she does is, even more than going to the police station, she sits in front of the Devi or Devta at home and she starts singing with tears in her eyes, with all devotion. This was what was shown 50 years ago. We all remember, right?
Yes.
Now,
Yeah.
go to the pub or what is that? There is this powder which they breathe with the nose. That is also being shown so
Samdral.
openly
Yes.
in the movies. I don't
Yeah.
know what that
So,
is called, ganja or marijuana and all that, which Rahul Gandhi smokes now. That is cocaine, I think. Yeah, cocaine. Yeah, he's cocaine addict. And anyway, so these kind of things that are being shown now in the movies, what will the yuva think, the youth think? It is all
correct.
okay. It is all cool. Okay. No, these are all attempts. These are all communicators. The movies are being used as bad communicators now, because all these fellows have come. No, this generation, the Karan Johars and all these fellows, they do all these kind of nonsense. Anyway, Hariom, we need to be aware of that.
Yeah, what my point was, people like us, I mean, I'm talking about myself, I have very little exposure to spirituality. I would say I'm still at the very bottom level. But there are people like me who are not exposed to any kind of spirituality. So they will think, okay, this is the way to get out of my sadness because it is shown and accepted in the
Exactly. That
film.
is the
And
intention
yeah,
of these people, to destroy the society and earn money, because they will have their own dealings to earn money. We need to, what we little we know, even to those people who are not exposed to spirituality and all, what we should tell, we have to simply say, देखो, even if someone says, अरे हमको कुछ इसके बारे में पता नहीं, मालूम नहीं, we can simply say, नहीं 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 नहीं. When you do not have, even if you don't know anything, then we have to just tell them to listen to something, either to Rudram Namakam Chamakam or Lalita Sahasram or Vishnu Sahasram. What we have to say is, just play this, sit in one quiet place and sit still with your eyes closed and listen to this. Sab theek ho jayega. That's it. That is how we
even for
need
that,
to
there is so much
give that
resistance.
kind of
What I'm
positive points to people who even do not know anything. For those people also, then they will slowly get attracted to spirituality. Not necessary that everyone should know everything or every meaning or every kind of introduction. So that will keep them. That is that little bit we can do to the society.
Yes,
yeah,
Prem
that
Bhaiya, it's
education
definitely
is
that.
needed.
Yeah, and the power behind, because the Sankalpa and the Adhishthana, no, even you listen to Shankaracharya, Acharya Shankar's, this anything, even just Maya, those words are not words, they are like mantras, no? So they definitely affect so much in a different way that just listening to it, even if you don't understand anything, the impact is very different. So I totally agree with you, because
Yeah, see,
they are
all the
not just the
mantras are
words.
what? Mantras are nothing but the science of sound. It is all science. You see, everything have you found any religion where you have medicine as part of a religion? No. Whereas we have Ayurveda like that. Even that is a part of religion. So Hindutva or Sanatan Dharma, however you want to name it, it is 360 degrees. It has everything. It has Dhanurved. These are all Upavedas, no? Dhanurved, even the art of war is part of the Ved only. That is, the Dhanurved is what Jamadagni has taught Parshurama, his son. So our thing, what is happening is our children, our own children, our next generation, many people, they do not even realize the fault lies with us. But at least now we have to correct ourselves so that automatically it slowly gets transmitted to the people around us. Hari Om. Is everyone silent or is my phone became silent?
I was also thinking same thing.
Very
Maybe
beautiful,
everyone is
Manana.
thinking that everyone is doing churning of the mind. Very good.
Manana. Yes. Very nice, wonderful discussion. Dhanyavad for sharing. Yeah, very nice.
And along with this, we should also introduce this sattva, rajas, tamas of the mental tendencies as part of education. Otherwise, the tamasic people will continue in that activities, and people who are sitting on the fence will think, okay, whatever is popular, that way you go. So this sattva,
Sumaji,
rajas,
just watch what changes are going to happen after 4th of June.
thank you. Because I felt that, or I still feel that this information should be taught to at the school level itself. That sattva, rajas, tamas, these are the tendencies in the mind, and what happens at adolescent. They have to be.
Actually, in our central school, Bhagavad Gita was our Sanskrit in the school. They taught us up to second chapter, Stita Prajna.
It is going to come back.
Then I don't know how it just went off. I don't know.
No, shall I tell you? Again, people will say that I'm talking politics. 1975, after the emergency was done.
Emergency only, yes.
At that time, Indira Gandhi wanted to have control of power, but she did not have complete support in the parliament. And the communists, she requested the communists for support. Communists said, okay. And she said, I'll give you few ministries to you. That's what happens now in politics. I'll give you this ministry, that ministry. Communists simply said, we don't want ministries. We don't want anything. We'll support you. But just to do us one thing, let us appoint people of our choice as professors and vice chancellors in the prominent universities of India. Indira Gandhi, such a brainy lady, did not think why this fellow is asking. She simply said, all right, you don't want ministries, I'll give it to my own people. Just education and take it. That's
and she
where
added the word
the
secular.
whole thing came up.
No,
They
added the word secular
appointed.
in it.
That is
there was
one.
no secular.
And socialist.
Sovereign was there, but not secular.
No. So, socialist and secular both were not there. India was sovereign democratic republic only. Sovereign socialist democratic secular republic, something like that they did. These two words actually, they are not constitutional. And now we are getting into a different arena. But unfortunately, whenever I pick up these topics, the opinions that come to me is that, hey, spirituality mein politics kahan se la raha hai? Has anyone seen the very first version of Indian Constitution? It has all all the Indian even if you Google the first version of Indian Constitution of India bolke, you will get to know every page has one picture of it comes from Ramayana, Mahabharata, and all the pictures
Yeah, yeah,
are
yeah.
printed on that. And slowly, somewhere down the line, they were removed, saying secularism. Shh, secularism gets disturbed. Shush, 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 bolke. All this. भारत रामायण और महाभारत के बिना भारत नहीं है भारत है ही नहीं but that is why I said 4th June. I think everyone would have understood 4th June the results are coming and the third term of this government is going to be super fast like a bullet train. It is things are going to happen and all these opinions that we have heard in this forum now like the Ramayana Mahabharata and all these are already they came back in some state level syllabuses. Now it's very likely to come out as a compulsory teaching in central level. All states have to do it. Bolke, that is likely to come up. New educational policy has already kicked in. So it takes 10 years again. In the next 10 years, the Yuva of India are going to be more and more proud of the country, not like now. Many people, India bole to na, the kind of cheap feeling that was implanted in the minds of the people. Many of our graduates and postgraduates studying in US, Canada, and UK, they are being taught even there to talk cheap about India. Indian universities only are teaching. These are all attempts to destroy, and to a large extent, they succeeded. Thanks and thanks and thanks to Mahadev, we got a real Indian self-ruled government in 2014. India got independence only in 2014 May. Really. क्योंकि ना देर इज ऑलवेज अ सेइंग अंग्रेज चले गए लेकिन औलाद को छोड़ के गए दिस वाज द रेफरेंस टू नेहरू and afterwards the same trend continued. So now what is happening is the real Sanatan Dharma is being revived with so many people shouting. Our own Hindus are shouting against the government saying you are doing this, you are doing that. No, nothing anti-secular is being done now. Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas is happening certainly, but at the same time, India will continue to revive much more to its Sanatan roots. Already now, if you see that is why Modi did not leave anyone. He is connecting with the youth so strongly. So, Pariksha Pe Charcha is happening. And recently, the gaming community ka leaders jo hai, he had a meeting with them. Such a thought, so much of thought-provoking Prime Minister. Youngsters, all the gamers, game developers, game app developers, on sabke saath he had a very big session. I usually follow all this. I don't know how many of you do. Usually these things I try not to miss while driving the car and all that also. I'll just play that on the phone and I keep listening while driving. These
I
kind
too
of things.
listen, and he has already given 125 days of the third term, and
Yeah, he didn't
and
mention what he's
25
going
days
to
is
do, but
only
he
for
said,
youth.
yeah,
25 days is
exactly.
only for youth.
Yeah, a lot is there in the store now. That is why he's saying, I want 370, mere ko 400 par, this, that, and all that. Of course, there is a lot of ploy in that. Now he is in, one more thing that I have to say. He is now in, where he is in, we all know, Kanyakumari, meditating. Yes. And even behind that, there is a lot of things he's doing for the country in these 2 days. We will get to know after some time, not now. There is a lot going on. Not just going to meditate, he has gone there for something else as well. Yeah, and we are really grateful to Mahadev for keeping him secure. I was very much worried about his security during all his trips. He was so closely mingling with the public, and particularly in Bengal, Mamata ji, don't know what kind of instructions she gave. In West Bengal during his tours, security was the weakest, very weak, and the local Delhi police did not scan and screen the garlands being given to the Prime Minister. There could have been an explosive in any of the garlands. Now I am saying this because now his West Bengal tour is finished and all the campaigning is finished. No more campaigning for these elections. So much of security lapses happened in Bengal, but still all of us are lucky that nothing happened to him. We should really remember him in every prayer of ours. Hari Om.
Yeah, very, very nice, very beautiful and wonderful insights and very positive outlook for our future and future generation. We all have our best wishes and he is always there in our prayers too. May I conclude, Brahmanaji?
Yes, Bella, you can, and you can play Maya Panchakam. Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayah, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kashit Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat Sarvam Shri Krishna Arpanamastu.
निरुपमस्य निरंशकेभ्य खण्डे मयि चिति सर्वविकल्पनादिशून्ये निरुपमनित्यनिरंशकेभ्य खण्डे मयि चिति सर्वविकल्पनादिशून्ये घटयति जगदीश जीवभेदम् त्वघटितघटना पटीयसी माया त्वघटितघटना पटीयसी माया श्रुतिशतनिगमान्तशोधकानपि अहधनादिनिदर्शनेन सद्यः कलुषयति चतुष्पदाद्यभिन्ना न घटितघटना पडीयसी माया सुखचिदखण्डविबोधमद्वितीयम् वियदनलादिविनिर्मित्ते नियोज्य भ्रमयति भवसागरे नितान्तम् त्वघटितघटना पटीयसी माया अपगतगुणवर्णजातिभेदे सुखचितिविप्रविडाद्यहङ्कृतिं च स्फुटयति सुतदारकेहमोहम् त्वघटितघटना पटीयसी माया विधिहरिहरविभेदमप्यखण्डे बत विरचय्य बुधानपि प्रकामम् भ्रमयति हरिहरविभेदभावान् घटितघटना पडीयसी माया त्वघटितघटना पडीयसी